Gobble gobbles, my dudes, and welcome back to the Viking the Press Pass podcast. I'm Mike.
I'm David.
And what have you been doing this week?
It was Thanksgiving, man.
Yeah.
Some Thanksgiving
My
stuff.
favorite holiday.
I think I like 4th of July more.
Why?
Explosions, hot dogs.
Turkey, man. Just eating.
Yeah.
Showing with family.
Yeah, see, that's never been a plus for me, though.
Yeah, I don't
Chilling,
like your family.
It's not that I don't like them. I just don't like them all together at one time.
Uh-huh.
And so that's never been a big draw for me. It's always like I can handle them all individually. And that's cool. Hang out with any one of the people in my family for the whole night even. Drinking whiskey, playing the Remember When game.
Yeah.
But like...
You remember?
Yeah. That's what, isn't that what you do with your family? That's what I do with my family.
No, not really.
Remember when we were kids, man? Remember this time? Remember when we used to live together? Like, yeah, good times. But maybe it's because I don't see my family that much. So it's not like the catalog gets updated.
Yeah. The only thing that irks me is whenever we go to another family's place for Thanksgiving, and for some reason my parents like to be the last guest out. I'm like, why do we have to be the last people here? Can't we just leave earlier? I don't know why we're doing this.
Yeah, I always used to be last in, first out.
Yeah.
I'd
rather be that way.
That's the way I used to be. I'd go over, all right, I'm going to go do the family a favor because, they want to see me or whatever.
Yeah. And
I'd come 2 or 3 hours after they started eating, and then I'd leave 2 hours before football was over. I'd be there an hour and a half.
Yeah.
All right, I'm here, just come in, tell a few jokes.
I don't need to be there for 6 hours.
Some people dig that.
Yeah, I don't.
That's the Thanksgiving experience.
Yeah.
It's just never been my cup of tea. I mean, the food's good. In the latter years of my family having Thanksgiving, though, they kind of started phoning it in.
Uh-huh.
I remember one year I went over there and they were like, yeah, we're not going to do a turkey this year. I'm like, what are you doing then? Just relish trays and snacks and deviled eggs and we might get some cold cuts and stuff for sandwiches. And I'm like, you're not making a turkey though. And you're not making stuffing and mashed potatoes and you're just snacking for 12 hours straight or whatever. They're like, yeah, pretty much. I was like, well, that was the draw. It was a turkey. I was like, I'm not even a huge turkey fan, but yeah, whatever.
And also in my family, you always have a mix of stuff. Either it's all Filipino food, some Chinese food, American, all that stuff. But we never had traditional green bean casserole. And I actually made it this year, and it was a hit. I was like, oh, that's pretty good. That's nice mixing it up. I imagine most American families are like, get that shit away from me.
I don't know that I've ever even had green bean casserole, to be honest.
Not bad. Well, you don't like shrooms, so.
That's probably why. Yeah,
it's mushrooms.
I don't like mushrooms.
And onions.
Yeah, and lots of mushrooms and onions. So I don't think I've ever had it because it just doesn't sound like something I would like.
Yeah.
But
yeah. So
no, deviled eggs are my jam. That's my. I used to go over just because my grandma would make deviled eggs every year. I fucking love deviled eggs. I don't know why. I mean,
you're like Ron Swanson.
They give me the fucking swamp butt like nobody's business.
Pulling some eggs in my body.
It's so good though.
You a whole dozen to yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much, because they just go down so easy. It's you just fucking tear them up.
Yeah.
But yeah, so now we went over to one of Diana's friends' house this year.
It seemed pretty interesting.
It was certainly an endeavor. That was odd. I don't know these people.
Well, would not recommend.
What's that?
Would not recommend.
Having dinner with them? Well, the gal is cool enough. The dude, it's not that he seems like a bad dude. He just doesn't seem like an adult.
Yeah.
It was very strange, being in a room with somebody that feels like your little brother.
Yeah.
But it's supposed to be the adult of the house. Really weird to me. I don't.
Oh, he's the man of the house.
Well, they have roommates, which is kind of weird to me because they don't need to have roommates. At least they're both engineers, so they can't be fucking poor. Surely they could afford their own place. They've been together as long as Diana and I have, 4.5 years, something like that.
It's like roomies.
I think he likes having roomies.
Yeah, Can you give some backstory of do you feel like you should, or just keep it? We'll just leave it at that.
I mean, I don't really know these people that well.
Yeah,
and
dunk on them.
But he really kind of he just seems really immature. He needs his old lady to basically take care of him, and he gets his way with everything. It seems like, and she seemed super nervous when I was there.
Mm-hmm.
Which, if I had problems with anxiety and then I had to be responsible for someone who's supposedly a grown adult,
Mm-hmm.
that would probably add to matters. I probably would feel a little more anxious as well.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, anxiety plus more responsibility for things that you don't have to have and shouldn't have to have responsibility for.
Mm-hmm.
That's a thing. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, it was fine. They were, I don't know, amenable, I guess. We had turkey sandwiches and pie.
Turkey sandwiches, interesting.
Yeah, because he doesn't like turkey. He likes turkey sandwiches with cranberry sauce and cheddar cheese on them, and like grilled cheese, and like apparently that's like
like a turkey cran, like from Togo's or something like that.
I don't know. I guess that's just like that's what he likes. He doesn't like turkey.
I like biscotti. Give me biscotti.
Yeah, all I like is chicken.
I want some French fries and nugs.
Yeah, chicken tenders. That's all I eat. It's like, okay, whatever.
I want them tendies, spicy tendies.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I said, they were nice enough. They were.
I'm actually surprised you went to someone else's house for Thanksgiving.
Well, Diana, I have an agreement that she kind of like gets one of these things a year. So last year I went to her work party thing.
Was this where you mistakenly thought this Asian dude was another Asian dude and he got really triggered? Was it that one?
He wasn't triggered so much as he was just weirded out. I think that was that party, yeah. And then the year before, it was like, it's been holiday parties the last couple of years, and then I went to her father's or mother's birthday. They had like some birthday dinner, and they wanted us to come along for this birthday dinner at this mountaintop restaurant. And so I went and did that. Got a lot of brownie points for it too, actually. She's like, "Hey, I didn't know you could be so charming." I was like, I don't know whether to be insulted by that or not. But so yeah, basically, I do one dutiful boyfriend thing a year because I feel like I can put up with it.
Yeah,
it's not so
you get
bad.
that one pass.
Right, and she's not the kind of person.
One pass from the press pass.
Yeah. She doesn't ask me to do a lot of stuff like that. And to be fair, she didn't even really ask me because this is how wonderful my girlfriend is she just was like, "Oh yeah, technically we were both invited, but I just assumed you wouldn't want to go." I'm like, "That's a fair assumption, but if you want me to go, I would."
David has diarrhea. But like Thanksgiving is not from a week from now, but he's gonna have diarrhea.
He's gonna have diarrhea.
Diarrhea.
It was funny too because I think she could tell that I was kind of I didn't mean to like communicate that I like wasn't really looking forward to it, but I was like, okay, yeah, I'll stop off at the store on the way and get some ginger beer or whatever because he likes ginger beer. I guess asked if we could bring anything. I was like, I'll get some ginger beer and some whiskey, and she's like, oh, they don't drink, and I was like, the whiskey's for me. She was like, oh right. They don't drink. Yeah, it's not for them.
Listen to this Ron Swanson guy. It's whiskey. Drink it.
This is for me to deal with the situation.
You have space for these 12 dozen deviled eggs for myself.
Yeah.
I brought my own turkey.
Do you have any dietary restrictions? That's correct. You do not.
Oh, and we just finished the Tyson Jones fight.
Yes. Post-fight commentary, ladies and germs. Germs.
Man, that YouTuber was really good.
Yeah. Fuck that dude up.
Fuck that
guy up.
Yeah.
I thought my uncle's assessment was like, yeah, I want to see that. I want to see that YouTuber guy fight Tyson. I was like, yeah, me too. It's like watching Conor McGregor. Like, whoa, really?
Buddy, you're talking about a legit fighter.
Yeah.
You want to die?
Even if he's not a legit boxer, he'll still fuck you up.
Yeah. I don't know what that is.
That guy would get fucking annihilated.
Yeah.
And just the very fact that he thinks he can step in the ring with Conor McGregor is probably an indicator that he just get knocked out. He wouldn't even have the mental like acuity to know that he should be like, it's like, I'm just gonna go balls out with fucking Conor McGregor. It's like, no, you're not.
Like Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah, he just gets fucking just annihilated. You might get killed. You might get killed. That's how bad it would be.
Yeah, I don't think. How could they even license that fight?
In good conscience, I don't know if there's any medical professionals that would be like, this is safe. Like,
Conor McGregor only has one pro boxing fight, so I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, but he does have at least somewhat of a background in boxing. And he did fight Floyd Mayweather. and didn't die.
Yeah.
So there's that,
Mm-hmm.
which I feel like is just enough of a testament. He fought Floyd Mayweather, and not only did he just like not die,
Yeah.
but he also didn't just pull his hair out from frustration, like, which is what I feel like the natural inclination of fighting Floyd Mayweather would be.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so, but yeah, I don't know. Overall thoughts of the fight? What do you think? As expected?
I thought Roy would be in better shape.
Yeah, I really don't see how he thinks that he won that fight.
One judge called it all 8 rounds for Roy.
I didn't see him land a single fucking like maybe one or two.
A couple of the jabs.
Yeah, a couple jabs, but jabs aren't really substantive blows, right?
Yeah, well, Mike only caught maybe a couple clean shots, but most of them were in, clenched. That's where he got the bulk of his strikes in.
Right, but because when he was trying to launch an assault, he was connecting usually with one blow and then coming in for a second and getting tied up.
Mm-hmm.
And then he gets them in the clinch, and then they'd break the clinch, and then he'd come in and he'd like usually land a couple, and I don't know, like Tyson looked like he wanted to fight.
Yeah.
He looked like he wanted to fight somebody.
Well, I think Roy felt the power. He was like, shit.
Yeah, and then he just kind of hand waved it off. Like, oh, okay, no, that wasn't it. It was like, well, why the fuck weren't you fighting then? Like, I don't know. Like,
He just got tired.
Quick.
Yeah. I thought it was going to be the other way around.
That Tyson would be tired.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what everyone was like, oh, he's just going to, he might burn out really early. And it's like, nope.
Yeah, that's what I thought the plan was. Like, maybe in the 4th round, Roy's going to, like, turn it up a little bit, which he did to some degree, but not successfully.
Oh, he was fucking winded, man.
Yeah.
Tyson didn't look tired.
No,
Tyson looked like he could have won another 4 or 5 rounds, especially if he wasn't clinching and he actually got to fight.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he looked eager to fight.
Do you think that was a bad decision on the ref's part for not breaking up some of the clinches early on?
Yeah, I think he probably could have. Because, it's like, you're there to fight, and normally in a fight like that, if the ref gets an indicator that the other boxer is just clinching too much to, like, defend himself, he'll just be like, look, you guys got to fight.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he'll just break the clinch up as soon as it happens. It seemed like Roy was just trying to wear the clock down.
Mm-hmm. He was trying to put some weight on him a little bit and just kind of move him around a little bit.
Yeah, because it's not usually, like I mentioned during the fight, it's not usual that Tyson is the bigger man, right? I don't know that he's taller than Roy. He's probably a couple inches shorter, but he's got, 10, 15 pounds on him.
Yeah, 20 pounds.
What do you say? 210 and 220.
Okay, so 10.
So 10 pounds.
Yeah.
But also, usually the heavy fighter is not the faster fighter.
Yeah.
So it's like Mike had speed, power, agility, defense, footwork, pretty much everything, like, in line. It looked appropriate. Like, his defense looked better than it did the last few years of his, like, pro career. Like, he was actually getting back to that. And I think that was the mitigating factors. He says, if Roy's hands are still fast, then he can have a shot. He can, but it looked like he was trying to, like, he came out and his plan was like, I'm going to set him up with that jab. And Mike was like, no, I still got this fucking defense, bro. And he kept closing that distance. And then Roy was like, fuck, dude, these hands aren't fast enough to catch that head anymore. Like, he didn't.
Plus, there wasn't enough room for him to work with. That ring was really small.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's that. Shorter rounds, I think the advantage would go to Tyson. Looking at the fight now, he had more time to work with.
Yeah, if he had 3-minute rounds, I think he'd probably knock Roy out in the 4th or 5th round.
Maybe, yeah.
Just adding an extra minute to those rounds. Because it was like, he'd come in, they'd set up, strike, clinch, 20 seconds of clinch, break up, and then do that 2 or 3 times, and then he's just it was like the final 15 seconds of the round. Like, he just didn't have enough time to get set up. Because he just kept getting clinched, and it was just like, But no, I shouldn't be, like, impressed with, given, like, his general sentiment and attitude. Like, if Tyson feels like he can fight again, he can probably fight.
Yeah, it looked good.
And I thought it looked really good.
Yeah,
I thought it was kind of a shame that Roy didn't really seem like he came to fight as much.
So, who would be your next dream matchup for Mike?
I'm trying to think of people that would be...
Vander?
Yeah, Holyfield would probably fight with him.
I'm going to headbutt this dude some more.
Yeah. But I can't think of very many people. Because, like, Lennox Lewis is done. Trying to think anyone else that might still even be in shape. So I don't know. I mean, I'd watch him fight a guy in a bear costume or something, whatever. Like, as long as it were entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
Still more entertaining than like any boxing match that I've seen in like years. Not the Fury Wilder fight, but
that was good.
That was a pretty fucking good fight. That's like my dead ringer for probably like fight of the decade so far.
Mm-hmm. Not bad. The rest of the card was kind of weird. It was like kind of like they tried to Trill. I'm not sure what that is. Some music social. I'm not exactly sure what that is. So they had like a lot of music acts in between for this filler.
Well, they still had fights after we just didn't even bother to watch it. I was like, yeah, we don't watch those.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there were supposed to be fights after the Tyson fight.
Oh, who cares? No,
I know.
That's what it's the main title. The title card is. You know.
Yeah,
but no one's watching that.
Apparently, there was. Watch, we'll like look at all the news tomorrow. It'll be like the fight of the year, like it's just fight after the Tyson fight.
That went crazy.
Yeah, but that didn't happen.
Yeah, it was kind of weird to see well, because I've seen it so many times in MMA or UFC, especially where there's no crowds. But to see a boxing match with no crowds, it was kind of
weird. You can like hear what they're saying in the corners and like.
And the weird thing too is they were pumping in audio.
Mm-hmm.
Do you notice that, like crowd noise? I'm like, that's weird.
Yeah,
you don't need to do that because like the UFC kind of proved it. You don't really need the crowd noise to be exciting.
Yeah, I don't get why they would do that.
And the commentary, well, Sugar Ray Leonard was terrible.
He's always been terrible.
No, he was that bad.
That dude's punchy as fuck, dude.
Okay.
His brain is basically fucking mush.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why anyone would ever put him on anything. It's just like his legacy of he's certainly not interesting to listen to. He's fucking boring and he's so fucking boring and long-winded. The other guy just kept cutting him off.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's just like, okay, you're done. I was just trying to give you an opportunity to say something interesting, but apparently you cannot.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna whatever. But yeah, that guy's awful. Great fighter, terrible commentator.
Mm-hmm.
It's like he's the fucking Charles Barkley of fucking boxing.
So, it was entertaining to have Snoop a little bit.
I thought he had more substantive things to say than Sugar Ray did.
Oh yeah. And the guy was probably high as fuck too.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know what's going on, man.
I think the color was where Snoop is like, come on, Roy, you can't be ducking that. Like, yeah. Get in there. It's like,
I did like the opening line with Snoop is like, it's like two uncles scrapping at a barbecue.
it's like, but my uncle's scrapping at a barbecue. It's like, yeah, kind of.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, if Tyson does more fights, I'll watch them. Probably not if Roy Jones. If they fight again, I'll watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because I'd just be curious to see how that plays.
They pull something out.
Yeah. Tyson seemed interested.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, let's do it again.
I'll do it again.
Do it again.
And that comment is like, everybody's worried about Roy getting hurt. What about me? I've been fighting 15 years. This man fought in the last 3.
Yeah.
No one ever talks about me. No one cares about Mike. We're like, yeah, you're right, Mike.
That's because we all just think he's indestructible.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just... We were also
he broke his back.
Yeah.
His spinal.
This is a guy that, like, his fucking last fight, like, he fucked his, his hamstring up, and he couldn't throw right hands. Like, in the 3rd round or something. And he fought, like, 3 or 4 more rounds. There was a chance that I cannot throw a right hand, anything beyond a jab, and I could probably still win this fight. Like, that's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you go, like, I could probably still beat this guy, like, one-handed. And, like, that's the level of, like, dedication that you're dealing with. And then he just kind of, he ended up throwing in the towel. And everybody remembers that, like, oh, he, like, quit mid-fight. Like, just said he didn't have it in him anymore. And it was like, yeah, he was broken. Like, he's fucking half his body was broken. And the fact that he went on at all and just thought, like, yeah, there's still a chance I could beat this guy. He's not fucking nobody. He's not Mike Tyson.
Yeah, it'll be exciting to see what happens in the future for that Legends League, only Legends League or something, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was talks for Roy Jones to fight Anderson Silva. I don't know if that's
in a boxing match.
In a boxing match, yeah. Oh, fuck. Anderson Silva would kill him.
Yeah, well, I think he'll probably kill him in a boxing match too, based on what I saw tonight.
You don't know. Anderson's on the decline right now. I think he's on like an 8-fight losing streak. So, We'll see.
How many of those fights if you're fighting actively in a combat sport and losing, I think that's better than not fighting in a pro sport.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like whatever. I based on what I saw tonight, like I think Anderson Silva probably still just beat the hell out of Roy Jones. It's like, but who knows? I mean, maybe it'd be different if.
Well, that stylistically would have been more interesting because Anderson's more known to be a counter striker than anything else. So that would kind of like bring out a little bit more of Roy. Because they would be trying to bait each other into certain firefights. But, yeah, that'd be interesting to watch. I don't know if I'd pay for it, but yeah, seeing another Mike Tyson fight would be fun.
Yeah, I think it just depends on who he's up against.
Yeah.
But in all reality, it's just like if he just fought somebody who wanted to box him, like that would be good enough for me. I wouldn't even care who it was. I mean, pretty much anybody, right? Because somebody that will box with him, fight like the way he wants to fight, even if he loses. Like, it'd be more entertaining than just watching them bear hug each other like fucking half the fight. Not interesting to me. So, but yeah, I don't know.
A score 1 out of 5. 5 being the best, 1 being the worst.
Well, what's baseline? Like, what is my expectation? Is that a 3? If it met my expectations.
Okay.
It's basically about what I thought it would be.
Yeah, I was hoping it wouldn't be like a Dada 5000 versus Kimbo Slice fight where they just hands on knees for the last minute of the third round. Like one guy literally died, medically died, and came back to life.
Yeah, that wouldn't have been good. They both made it through the fight, but there really wasn't a full fight's worth of fight there. There was probably 2 or 3 rounds worth of a fight in 8 rounds, but they made it through. You know, they look like I said, I would like to see the longer rounds, actually, 3-minute rounds.
Yeah,
even if there were only 5 or 6 of them instead of 8, I just think it would be a better.
So is there like they can just make up any rule for an exhibition fight? It seems like they just do whatever, right?
Well,
Except not go a full 12.
Yeah, not whatever, but yeah, with there's quite a bit of latitude.
Yeah, I was like, okay, they went 12-ounce gloves, no headgear. It seemed like they could just knock each other down now, because I thought I read somewhere there was like no knockdowns allowed.
Yeah.
Any blood, they just called a fight.
Yeah, that just seemed dumb to me. I don't really understand with the heavy sparring. It's like, to me, an exhibition fight is just a fight that doesn't count for your record.
Yeah.
Right. For all intents and purposes, it should be more or less the same. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Got anything else? Did you do anything else this week?
I might be going to Florida.
Oh, you might be going to Florida?
I think so.
For what?
Get out of town, go on vacation, do something.
Go hang out with those animals in Florida. No mess, man.
Well, Adam said we could stay at his place, so I'm going to confirm with him to see if that offer still stands. And
you can live the baller life, bro.
Well, he knows Miami really well, so I'm sure it's like that's part of the appeal. Is it's like it's COVID, so probably reduced airfare. It's looking at probably like $200 or $300 round trip per person. So, and then I won't have to pay for an Airbnb or hotel if he lets us stay with him, and then he likely knows like all the cool places and things to do, and maybe will at least show us or take us or whatever. So there's minimal planning needed, but yeah, I don't know. We're still just talking about it. I just kind of decided last night that I didn't want to go. I mean, I want to go in a sense, but like I was like, man, fuck, I just had my teeth pulled out, so it's cost me a bunch of money. I'm trying to save money, and like, yada yada yada. I don't want to take off work. It's not a matter of the money spent. It's more the money not earned when I'm off. And so, especially because I just started picking up shifts here again, I was thinking, well, I probably should,
Oh yeah, you didn't mention that in the last podcast.
Yeah.
Started back up here.
I don't think I started last week yet, had I? No. Monday was my first day.
Yeah.
So picking up shifts here because Bailey is getting his jaw operated on or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, back here for a couple shifts a week. So that's cool. It's nice. Worked Thanksgiving until I went over to the friend's house or whatever, and that was cool. It's quiet. Some things I'm not still really all that accustomed to. It's super weird, but yeah, so that's cool. But like, yeah, I figure I should probably give at least a little bit of like heads up. Like, not like, hey, I'm leaving like tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I'll be gone for a week.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck off with whatever. So yeah, I don't know. Could be good. I've never really spent much time in Miami. I was there for like a couple days one time, but that was it. So never really.
You can hang out with Pitbull.
I don't know who that is. Who's Pitbull?
It's a rapper.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Is he like from Miami?
Sure.
The streets?
Mr. Worldwide, Pitbull.
All right. I'm so white and square. I don't know who these SoundCloud rappers all are.
No.
He's not a... Okay. I don't know who rappers are.
Yeah.
I know like 4 rappers. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much. But I don't know. So... see some cool stuff in Miami, I guess. It won't be fucking ridiculously hot there because it's basically the start of the winter, so it'll be like temperate, normal human temperature.
It's 80 and 80 humidity.
I don't know how humid it is there in the
I don't know.
winter.
I have no idea.
I mean, I assume it's more humid than here, but
Yeah, everywhere else is humid in here, more humid than here.
not Arizona, not New Mexico,
Yeah, that's true.
not Nevada, but like yeah. We get some humidity. It's just temperate all year round. So.
Mm-hmm.
But what about you? What'd you do this week?
Just the same amount of shit. Can't really. It was nice to actually have 2 days off in a row, and it's just like the second day I was like, oh, it's a little bunch of free time. I'm just gonna sleep. It's awesome. I forgot what sleep was like. But I still have like the clock in my head always like I just wake up like at 9 like okay, can't really sleep in, I'm just up.
I fucking slept like a ridiculous amount of time the other day, like last week. I don't remember what it was. Like I didn't get a lot of sleep the night before, and then I came home and I went to bed at like 11:30 at night or something, which is super early for me.
Yeah.
And I think I slept until damn near 3 o'clock the next day. It was fucking, I woke up and I was like, where the fuck am I? Like, how did I sleep that long? Why was I so fucking tired? But yeah, I mean, it's just like, I don't know. It's probably just a culmination of things. It's like, so I'm working over at Metro again. Still doing freelance for the weekly. I'm helping Chris with debate. I'm working at Aloni. And now I'm also working here now. So it's like just piecemealing all those things together. And trying to squeeze in podcasting, D&D, whatever else, like into those gaps is, didn't have anything to do that day, and my body apparently knew that I didn't have anything to do.
Sleep.
It's like a fucking, the just gonna fall unconscious for like a day.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice to sleep in a lot sometimes.
Yeah. I haven't had like 2 days in a row with nothing planned out. I purposely not planned anything. I was like, well, nothing planned.
It was like Thursday and
Friday.
Thursday and Friday.
Yeah. Sounds good. Other thing I saw, it's interesting that Dave Chappelle came up in the news. He's like, if you ever, people out on YouTube probably saw the hashtag boycott Chappelle.
Mm-hmm.
He pretty much did it to himself. He's been doing this interesting thing like on, it seems like Instagram, where he posts like short, like 20-minute clips of his set. I guess he has this like outdoor theater he does stand up in Ohio. Mm-hmm. And I think the sketch or the set is called Unforgiven. Always he kind of like in code talks about the Comedy Central thing with him and the Chappelle Show.
Yeah.
It was the Iceberg Slim story in one of his specials. And now he really explained what was really going on, where, they didn't pay him like for the rest of that season 2. And he said, that's fine. But it's not cool for you to, release all this stuff and not pay me. I wrote everything out. I did produce those things. And like, I should be paid and compensated for all those this job I did. Right.
For syndication. You mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he's just like, just don't if you like the stuff I do or appreciate the stuff I do, just boycott it. And he asked,
like if it's on a streaming service and you just don't watch it, what is that really doing? How's that helping him? I guess it doesn't seem, because their whole model is that you just pay for a subscription because there are things that you want to watch. But like you not watching any one thing in particular doesn't really affect their subscription service at all, unless you cancel your Netflix because of it or cancel your HBO.
Or you put a hashtag up, email the company, we don't like you doing this shit.
Sure, I guess, but I mean that doesn't help him get paid, and it doesn't. They don't.
Well, he wanted to open up the negotiation again. It was like, I'm willing to work with you guys.
So is it the same with HBO? So how did HBO pick his stuff up then?
I guess it's a licensing agreement through Viacom. But I guess he was talking about in the special too, where, like, he does business with Netflix. He's done specials for them.
Yeah.
And he asked them, yeah. And he asked them, not stream it. It's not really cool because they're not really paying me. And like, yeah, we'll take it off. I was like, yeah, man, that's why I fuck with Netflix, because they're cool.
Oh, so he just asked them and they just took it down.
Yeah, they took them down. Oh. But then the whole HBO Max thing, and it's like, yeah, if you just, make it be known that it's not cool to do that, and then they did take it off.
Well, so, good for them.
Yeah.
They're not required to do that, but yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Well, I mean, it's just a prospect that he might want to do another comedy special, and if they said, fuck you, then he probably would just be like, yeah, I've just filmed my special somewhere else.
Yeah.
I won't film it for Netflix, and you won't have that revenue stream. You just, the cost-benefit analysis just says you're going to make more money on another Chappelle comedy special than you were old episodes of Chappelle shows. Mm-hmm. It just makes financial sense.
Yeah.
But still, kudos to them. They weren't obligated to do that.
So. Yeah. So that was cool. And also on your recommendation, picked up Travels with Charlie. In Search of America.
Did you finish On the Road?
No, it's hard to read.
Yeah, I warned you, didn't I? It just kind of gets a little
like in the middle of it, he's like in Denver and is just reading like someone's fucking live journal. Mm-hmm. It just reads like that. It's like it's just a stream of consciousness. It's like it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, the concept is intriguing.
Yeah,
but then you just like get into it and you're like, there's not really any. It's kind of like vomiting information at me.
Yeah, but like when you read, what's his name, John Steinbeck?
Yeah.
That guy's a wordsmith, man. He paints a picture.
Yeah. See, Travels with Charlie, or with Charlie in Search of America, I think is what it's called, right? Yeah. That's a well-written book, because fucking John Steinbeck is like a master of fucking prose.
Yeah. And it was good that like the Ford, I didn't really get to finish it because I was like, I want to get to the story, but the background of the Ford was really, interesting, of like how it's kind of more of a fiction piece than anything else. He did travel across America, but all the stuff is just, from his mind, or he just kind of piecemealed it from actual events in his head.
Yeah.
The timeline probably doesn't sync up to his journals and all that stuff, but the way that he describes a lot of things is just, it's, like,
yeah.
Yeah, no wonder the guy fucking won a Nobel Prize for that piece.
Yeah. It was funny, too, because he was considered, during that time, when he won the Nobel Prize, there was a lot of uproar about him winning the Nobel Prize.
Oh, yeah?
Like, he just, like, wasn't a very good writer.
And there was Didn't he, like, write Grapes of Wrath and all that other stuff?
East of Eden?
Yeah. Flat Tortilla.
Yeah. That's terrible, by the way, though. Oh. Tortilla Flat is not a good story. Mm. Of Mice and Men is him. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, history has been kind to him, but in his time, he was not considered like a Faulkner, Hemingway, Scott Fitzgerald, like serious writer. It was more like giving Orson Scott Card a fucking Nobel Prize or something, right? Like okay, cool, I guess, but like, really, that guy got a Nobel Prize? Like, kind of seems. It was like Obama getting a Nobel Prize. It was like, Obama.
Hey, well, he just got in office. What did he do? I don't know.
He didn't do anything yet, but it's about what he might do. It's like, we're just giving prizes we're giving $1 million prizes to people for what they might do now. Nice.
Yeah.
This guy's a good writer. I feel like he's probably gonna write the Great American Novel one day, and we'll just give him the prize now before he does anything. Yeah,
so far so good. I just cracked it open. It's great.
It's a pretty short read too.
Yeah.
Relative to like East of Eden or Grapes of Wrath, which are like 600 pages a piece or whatever.
I think the ebook, or the Kindle thing was said it was like 20 something pages. don't know if that's true, but
No, it's longer than that. It's probably, I would say it's probably just shy of 200 pages, maybe.
okay.
But yeah, like East of Eden is like 600 or 700 pages, and Grapes of Wrath is like 600 pages or something. They're both pretty long books. They're both really good books, but yeah, I mean, it's just weird because they're like, oh yeah, of course they gave it to him. They were like, it was just a weak field this year. They had to give it to somebody. Fucking East of Eden, and now it's like considered one of the greatest books like ever.
So as for me for this week, and then catch up to Mandalorian, but so far so good. Oh, have you watched any more Raised by Wolves?
I didn't. I went to, but then I ended up watching some movie. You know what I did watch? Because I had never seen it wall to wall. Is Cruel Intentions. They put it up on HBO. You ever see that fucking movie?
No, I never watched it.
It's basically a modern retelling of Dangerous Liaisons, if you ever saw that. It's kind of like a Victorian...
oh my.
Yeah, so it's like
upstairs, downstairs people?
No. Just all high society, but it's all alien, like, game. It's kind of like House of Cards, almost.
Oh, okay.
It's like this game of chess, right, where these, like, well-to-do people are, like they have, like, this game, like, this bet going about, like, ruining people's lives and shit. And so they did a modern retelling of it. And I've seen, like, segments, like, maybe even, like, an hour stretch of that movie, or maybe not, 40 minutes or something. But I've never seen it, like, wall to wall. And so it's, like, one of those... It came out in the late 90s when that was all the rage of, like, retelling Shakespeare shit, you know.
Can't Buy Me Love.
Yeah, or... what was the other one? They retold Othello. They did. That was when the Lost Barman, Romeo and Juliet came out, and then they also did. They did.
I wonder if that even holds up.
Probably not. And they did 10 Things I Hate About You.
Yeah.
So it was like,
Can't Buy Me Love is like the black version.
No, Love Don't Cost a Thing is the black version of Can't Buy Me Love.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Love Don't Cost a Thing is the Can't Buy Me Love, but just like the black version.
Okay.
And then, 10 Things I Hate About You is Shakespeare's Taming of the Shrew. And they did a couple of other ones. But, like, so they did this kind of, it was in the zeitgeist at the time, at the tail end of it. And it's got Ryan Felipe and Reese Witherspoon. I think it's the movie that they met and ended up, like, getting married.
Oh, okay.
It's got Selma Blair and Sarah Michelle Gellar in it. And so I watched it, and so the whole premise of the plot is that Reese Witherspoon's character is the new headmaster's daughter, and she's kind of like this chaste virgin chick, and she does this piece in 17 magazine about how she's like waiting to have sex because whatever. And she's like matriculating from Kansas or whatever to like this New York prep school or whatever, where Ryan Felipe and Sarah Michelle Gellar go. And they're step siblings, but they have like this weird sexual chemistry between them. And Ryan Felipe is like a big womanizer, and Sarah Michelle Gellar is like this manipulator, like she pretends to be like super squeaky clean, and meanwhile she's like manipulating. And there was this guy that she was dating, Sarah Michelle Gellar was dating, and he left her for Selma Blair's character. Is really cute in the movie, like she looks cute, but then you watch the movie and she behaves like she's like 12, and it's super obnoxious. But anyway, so this guy that Sarah Michelle Gellar was dating left her for Selma Blair.
Okay.
So she decides to get back at him. She's going to just ruin Selma Blair's life. So that's like the B plot, and then the main plot is that Ryan Felipe has this bet with Sarah Michelle Gellar that he can bang the new headmaster's daughter before school starts. And if Sarah Michelle Gellar wins, then she gets like his 57 Jaguar Roadster, and if Ryan Felipe wins, like he gets to
bang her out.
Yeah, he gets to like fuck her up the ass or something, I think. And so he's like, okay, cool, great, I'm gonna do that. And then, like, of course, like, he ends up falling in love with Reese Witherspoon, and it's like, it's super duper trite. It's so, like, not, like, trite concept notwithstanding,
Mm-hmm.
it's not earned that he ends up liking her.
Mm.
It really is just like not even remotely.
Is it like one of the like she walks down the stairs in slow motion moments? Like I think I'm in love.
Mm-mm. It's just a series of, I don't know. They just don't really have very much screen time together. It's just kind of weird.
Hmm.
And then yeah, meanwhile Sarah Michelle Gellar is ruining Selma Blair's life and gets Ryan Felipe to seduce Selma Blair, and she has this music teacher, and Sarah Michelle Gellar outs the music teacher who's like in love with Selma Blair, and she's in love with him, and it's like this weird thing. I don't know, and it's pretty fucking stupid. But I watched the whole movie. I was like, I'd never seen this before. I'm gonna watch this whole movie.
Power through it.
And I reached a point where I was like, this is kind of bad. And then at some point, I kind of just was like, man, this is like so bad. I want to see how bad it can get.
Uh-huh.
Like I just want to see how horribly trite it can be. Has a good soundtrack though. I'll say that. A nice soundtrack, but yeah, it's all just seems to get by on like, you know, posh Manhattan private school, like upper society kind of people, and then like, you know, this semblance of young romance or whatever. I don't know, it's really weird. It's also got the guy that was in the Mighty Ducks that played Charlie, and he also played Pacey on the Dawson Show. He's in it.
Okay.
He plays, and I don't know, I wanted more of him in the movie. He's kind of interesting. It was like, oh, this is like more interesting than what's going on in the real movie, but but yeah, so I watched that instead of Raised by Wolves. And
spend your time, quality time with some good movies.
No, that's the thing, is I didn't want to watch, like, I had a bunch of stuff on the list, you know, and I was like, I don't really want to watch something that's like good or something that I might want to watch with the old lady. So I was like, I'll just put this piece of shit on and like see if I can watch the whole thing. To be fair, I did make it through it. It wasn't like when I tried to watch Girls, where I was like, I'm really hard on that show, but I've never actually like watched it. And I tried to watch it, and it was like 10 minutes into the first episode. I was like, I can't fucking stand this. I had to shut it off. It was insufferable. It was really bad. But so yeah, I watched that. I feel like I watched something else too instead of Raised by Wolves. Some other movie. What was it? We watched. Oh, Divorce Italian Style. That's what it was. I watched
What
that.
the fuck is that?
It's another one of those kind of like
My fat Greek wedding.
No, this is like an early 60s.
Okay, I don't know.
Like,
it just sounds like something like that.
No.
The Devil Wears Prada or something.
No, you don't know what an Italian divorce is.
No, I don't.
It's the same thing as an Alaskan divorce. You don't.
I don't know.
Okay, it means to murder your spouse.
Oh.
So there's, I mean, I was pretty underwhelmed, but it's apparently like really well known, like in cinephile circles, as being a really good movie from the early 60s, black and white, you know, it's kind of arty. It's this movie about this guy, and he's like this Italian, from like this prestigious Italian family who used to like be really well to do, and now they're kind of like not as well to do, but you know, he's still like not royalty per se, but I guess kind of, he's kind of like
He's like a duke or something.
Like a low-level Italian lord or some shit, you know? And anyway, so he's got this big family and lives in this big manor. And he's got this wife, and his wife is kind of just not doing it for him. And then he wants to bang his cousin, who's like 16 or something. And he's like, it's just like another one of those things where it's like he looks like he's like 50, but then it's like the 60s, so he's like our age. I was like, man, times were just fucking rough on people back then, dude. And so he plots to kill his wife so that he can be with this his 16-year-old cousin, who strangely enough is into it. Like, she's into like getting banged out. And so it's like really weird, because what happens is like he's looking into the law, and there was like this other case where like this woman kills her husband, and she kind of gets off the hook, or she gets like a really reduced sentence because it was like she had caught him in the throes of an affair. And so because she had caught him in the throes of an affair, like the law has like this special dispensation for those kind of people. And then he's like, well, you know, so this is what she got off the hook for these circumstances, and I'm like a well-to-do, educated, like high society guy, so I probably won't get as bad as her. So he's like doing all these calculations in his head. there's a glaring plot hole, which is that like he tries to set his wife up to have an affair so that he can catch them and kill her. But like all the effort he goes through to like orchestrate the affair is like, couldn't you just like orchestrate like a situation where you just don't get caught for the murder?
Sure.
He seems to think it's a foregone conclusion he's going to get caught.
Yeah.
So then what happens is like the affair actually does go off, and she runs off with this guy, and his family is disgraced. And he's like cuckold, and everyone like this affects his reputation negatively. So then the guy wife finds the guy and hunts him down and kills him, and then he hunts down the wife and he kills her to restore his honor.
Okay.
And then he ends up going to trial, and he gets 3 years in prison, and then he comes out and his reputation is restored, and lo and behold, the like hot cousin wants to be his old lady, and then they just kind of like sail off into the sunset together, and then like they're like making out or whatever, and there's this other dude on the boat, and then you just see like the other chick like playing footsie with that guy.
Oh.
And that's his comeuppance, right? It's like, yeah. But more or less he just kind of gets what he wants. He just gets to bang a teenager, and that his related teenager. To be fair, she's very attractive as her. I might reconsider my stance on that situation, but she doesn't look anything like him either. It was weird. She's like blonde and hippie, and like he's like this brooding, like mustachioed, like slick back hair, like Italian dude.
Hey, boopity boppity.
Yeah, pretty much. And but yeah, I mean, it was okay.
Was there any gabagool?
There was no gabagool, man. It's just like
macaroni and gravy.
Mm-mm.
No. That's disappointing.
Yeah, it wasn't. It's not Italian Americans, man. They're Italians. Italians. And so, yeah, I mean, I just don't get like why it's held in such high regard. It's like a solid C. Like it's worth a watch one time, but it's not like I'm like, how did I never see this movie before? It wasn't like when I saw Cool Hand Luke for the first time when I was in my 20s, and I'm like, how did I like never see this fucking movie up until now, or Cinema Paradiso, or any of those films? Like I didn't see them when I was young, and then I like discovered them in my 20s, and I was like, wow, this movie's 20 years old. How had I never heard about it before? It wasn't like that. It was just like, oh, whatever. It's fine. I get it. Something.
Yeah?
So, but yeah.
Do not recommend.
It's whatever. Like, for like a, getting turned off of foreign movies.
Because I got a bunch of foreigners in those foreign movies.
It's just, I don't know.
Can they learn how to speak English?
They could. But yeah, a lot of the movies on the list are foreign movies, and so a bunch of Kurosawa and shit. I haven't really rewatched any of those, but like I had never seen it, so we decided we were gonna watch it. And it's like, okay, that was a movie, I guess. It looks nice. It's well shot. I'll say that. Set design and everything is nice in it, but it's as far as like it makes you think that like he's gonna get everything he wants, and then it just kind of ends on like, oh no, she's gonna cheat on him. Well, he did murder his wife and get to bang a teenager, which is what his whole goal was, I guess, right? So, is it really like comeuppance, like that they're not gonna live happily ever after? Like, yeah, who does? That doesn't happen. So, but yeah, I don't know. Did you watch anything new or interesting this week?
No, that's about it for me. Yeah, surprisingly, during my break, I didn't really watch anything else. I was just, going on Duolingo, trying to learn some Japanese.
How's that going?
It's a fucking slog, dude. My brain's it's not clicking in right now. I'm like doing the things, and it's like, but it's just not clicking. Like, I don't know. It just takes time, I guess.
It's a phrase, but you can't like compose sentences in your brain yet.
Yeah, it's just syllables basically that you're learning. Not really words right now. You just have to recognize what that shape is and what sound it makes out of that. But other than that, it's not like any sentence structure or anything like that. It's just recognizing the characters and trying to figure out, like looking at it, like what does that say? Or what the sound should be?
Is it at least easy to track your progress?
Oh yeah, it's easy.
Like you're getting better?
Yeah. For me, it's just like it's not clicking right away. Like most things that I do, I just like usually clicks. Like
It's naturally gifted, you know. That's whatever I try.
Not really.
Good at naturally.
I just with language and stuff like that, it takes a lot longer for me to learn that type of stuff. But like physical stuff or whatever, it's very easy for me to remember. But yeah, it's and but also too is it's not very clear sometimes like how progress should go on Duolingo, because there's like certain steps you got to do, and there's actual like extra work you can do on the side of the actual lessons. I didn't know that for a while.
Like auxiliary stuff.
Yes. And then I was like, I could have learned that. It would have made it way easier, but whatever. But it's fun so far. It's challenging enough for me to like, okay, I'll just play with it for like 10 minutes a day and do that.
You get, as long as you can say "get woke on this Virgo ma" to Japanese girls, you'll be good.
Konnichiwa.
So like, I can say like a few things in Russian,
Mm-hmm.
and so if I meet Russian people, I say like the 4 Russian things I know how to say, and then they just like they think I speak Russian, and they just like come back at me like, "Oh, but it's good, like what you and you're like, no, I just know how to say that one thing. Niet hosho, like nimnoga, like just fucking little bit, not good. Like, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah.
Okay, please get it.
Pretty much.
So that's about it for me.
Yeah.
So let's get on to our cigar of the week.
Cigar of the week.
Impromptu. I forgot to bring the grab bag today because I didn't. Yeah, I wasn't, because usually I would pick it up on Friday, but I wasn't at work on Friday.
Oh snap!
So we are smoking the El Borracho, the teal-ish blue label.
Maduro.
Maduro. I think it's a San Andreas wrapper, right?
San Andreas, Nicaraguan, I think.
Mm-hmm. It's good.
Yeah, I think it's one of the stronger cigars in their fleet.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really have a terribly high opinion of Dapper. They make some decent stuff. They make a couple of good sticks.
Yeah, you're really hit and miss with that brand.
Yeah, I don't. It seems to enjoy kind of a, I don't want to say cult following, but like a loyal following of people. And it's like.
Oh, you probably see it more in Ohlone then, because here it's kind of lukewarm.
Yeah, but the people that like it seem to really like it.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a handful.
You know, they're not getting tattoos of the brand or anything.
It's
like
true.
that.
It's true. But like, yeah, I think that this is a standout cigar in that line. That and the Siempre that we smoked too.
Yeah.
Those two are like the better ones, and then the El Borracho Natural, and then like one of the Cubos, maybe the Sumatra, I think is okay too. And then there's a couple that are like not good. And
the Cubos, I feel like, is the weakest showing.
The La Madrina, I think, is the weakest.
Oh, really? I smoked it once. I was like, that's not bad.
I don't like the La Madrina at all. I think it's like icky. Tastes like just like, is that allspice note, like turned all the way up to 11, like ginger and allspice. It's just kind of like ugh. But yeah, I didn't like that one. And the Cubos are some of them are like, most of them are like kind of weak, and then like 1 or 2 of them are like serviceable. And then they have like 2 or 3 good sticks, and then that pretty much just rounds out their line. So.
Is there some sort of law if you have like a San Andreas wrapper, it has to be box pressed? Is there some rule around one?
Kind of seems that way, doesn't it?
It's just like, what's going on?
I'm trying to think of the Hoya Black is not box pressed.
Okay.
But it's also dog shit.
Yeah, it's not the best.
It's pretty fucking bad,
Yeah.
dude. It's like, how do you fuck up Nicaragua,
Yeah,
San
I polished this turd for you.
Yeah,
here, eat this shit sandwich.
But yeah, like the La Mission from
Yeah.
Tatuaje, box press.
Yeah.
The 601 Blue Label,
Box
pressed. The Padron Anniversarios, box pressed. It's like, yeah,
I don't know what the deal is.
Even isn't there something else from Tatuaje that's box pressed that?
The Emmys, Emmy2s.
Yeah. Yeah, what is it with that? I never really thought about it, but yeah, it does kind of seem like that's the
It's
trend.
like required by law. Like the Mexican government, you've got to box press this.
The Norteños?
Yeah, the box press.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Box press.
Some sort of like big box press is playing games on us.
Maybe it's like one of those things, like the first few companies that made San Andreas's did that, and now it's kind of like a,
Yeah, if it has like
something-
an Irish whiskey, it has to be a.
But yeah, like that. Like,
Yeah.
There's no reason that it has to be the case, but
Whoa.
it seems to be like a thing.
Yeah, that's weird.
playing into expectations.
Mhm.
Like you expect it to be box press, so we're gonna box press it for you because you expect that.
Or maybe because like you take off the bands, like, oh, is that a anniversario? No, it's not really.
I don't think I would mistake even the look of this for an anniversario. The anniversarios have like this really
beat
like
up.
seamless, like crisper box press,
Mhm.
and then like they have more of like a sheen to them.
Yeah,
Um,
these seem like more of like what would come out of like a Cuban box,
Mhm.
like it's a true box press where they just squeeze the cigars in there, and you would just get that shape.
Yeah.
Not like it was actually in a mold,
yeah.
and there you go.
Well, I don't know. Like this is a pretty seamless wrapper, but compared to the anniversarios, um, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe. But it's good. It's got. That's another thing too. Is you notice a lot of San Andreas cigars tend to have a pretty easy draw on them too.
Mhm.
Like you hardly ever get ones that are like a tighter draw. They all have that. Maybe it's because they're box pressed, and so they just like have an easier draw or something. But
Yeah, in general, yeah, box presses are easier to draw because I guess they have to have a lot of space in the cigar to have it actually press into the molds.
yeah, and so usually it kind of has like that spongy give to it.
Mhm.
You cut it, and it's like you can dry draw through it like air, like through a straw. It's like
yeah,
pretty loose. But they usually like the Norteños are notorious for that. They just burn so fucking fast.
yeah. They must add something into the wrapper to accelerate it
I don't know.
because it has that oil line.
Yeah, it just burns really fast.
Yeah, it smokes by itself. Like if you notice like this cigar, like once you stop puffing on it,
Yeah.
the smoke goes away.
Because the draw is so heavy it'll come out the cap a little bit, but then usually it doesn't get side stream as much.
Yeah, but it's just like a fucking a chimney
Mhm.
coming out of anything from Drew Estate.
Not just like the actual smoke production, but just how fast the Norteño burns, like when you're smoking it.
Yeah.
Like it just like it almost just feels like you're crackling away at a cigarette and just goes like really quick. For
Yeah.
like a bigger cigar, it'll take you like especially those box press Lonsdales that they have.
Mm-hmm.
Those things are like 6 or 7 inches, and you can smoke one of them in like 40 minutes or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like
Just leave it alone. It'll just half of it will go away.
but yeah.
So that's not too bad. Like, yeah, like for me, this is a good recommendation. It's like something I would pick like a fiver of these just to have in the humidor once in a while.
Well, reasonably priced too. They're like $8 or $10 or something like that for a Robusto. They're not terribly expensive.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
Yeah,
Would I that in for a Padron 1000 series? It's a little hard to say.
Yeah.
It's in that range. So if it's kind of like, if you don't have a Padron, you might as well get a Baracho. It wouldn't be a bad pick.
Yeah, I guess if you want that like more San Andreas flavor,
Yeah, because this one plays up a lot more into the wrapper than anything else.
yeah,
Like, I think like the 601 Blue Label and then the Padrones, they just more Nicaraguan flavors come out of there.
yeah,
That
it's
profile.
these are consistent more like the Padron 1000 series though. Where the 601s are like they're one of those cigars that when they're on, they're really good, but they're not always really on. When they're not on, they're fine, but you're always hoping that you're gonna get one that's like
When they're on, they're
it's
on,
just
man.
like full
They're
good.
just almost as good. It's like, if an Avasario's a 10, that one might be like an 8, 8.5.
Yeah.
You're pretty much there. I'd be hard pressed if like a beginner would like notice the difference.
Yeah. Well, it's just like the Tab broadleafs.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Like when those are smoking really good, they're really really good, but they're just not always smoking good. They're usually fine. They're always like
How's
they're
the
always
box-
like a 7, 7.5,
Mhm.
you know, and then like every now and again you'll get one that's like a fucking 9, and you're like, oh, it's so good. It's a little bit of extra chef kiss. Like, usually,
Did you say that at Aloni?
Yeah, the last couple ones I have.
Mm.
Usually you can tell by the coloration and the wrapper. If you get the ones that have that real like that sheen to them, and they look really smooth and really seamless, they tend not to smoke that well. But when you get the ones that kind of have like that speckled wrapper,
Mm-hmm.
like the wrapper almost looks like someone like speckled like bleach on it or something.
Or they got like a paintbrush with color, like
Yeah, like it's got this modeling to it, and then it's more of a matte
Mhm.
like wrapper. Like those ones usually smoke really good.
Mhm.
But it's a fine cigar. I think it's the best of the Cajonu series for sure. Like,
oh yeah, definitely.
someone was telling me, it's like, oh yeah, but those are good, but like they're not as good as the Habanos. I was like, are you fucking kidding me, dude? Like
No.
these fucking cigar dunks on the Habano. The
No.
Habano's like fine,
Uh huh.
but
I'm kind of hard pressed to think of any cigar that's a Habano I really like. They're passable, but for the most part, it's like, oh, it's a Habano. I'm not really into it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of hers. It's got to be like, do you consider an Ecuadorian Habano?
Those are good.
Or like a Habano hybrid, like the Antiquidad.
La Antiquidad
Is a Scuro Rosado Habano hybrid. So it's like part Habano.
Yeah.
But it's like a hybrid wrapper, so I don't know that you would call it a pure Habano.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm trying to think. There was some Habano that I really liked, and I can't remember what the fuck it is. But I think it's an Ecuadorian Habano.
Mm-hmm.
Like they those tend to be better.
Ecuador grows good tobacco.
Or a good wrapper leaf, anyway.
Yeah, Ecuador and Connecticut's are awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So big fan of those.
Yeah, I remember AJ over at Mission one time when the Padron Connecticut came out, and they like couldn't sell them, and so they had them in 5-packs. They had five of them for like $30.
Oh, the Damasio or whatever it's called.
Yeah,
wow.
They had 5 of them for like $30.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, "Phew, fuck, I'm getting these. These are good." He was like, "Yeah."
I don't just get it.
Like, man. I don't get it. It's like, it's an Ecuadorian Habano with Nicaraguan binder and filler. It's like, I'm like, yeah, that's dope, dude. Like, what? Why are you shitting on Ecuadorian Connecticut's? Like, it's a fucking Ecuadorian Connecticut. It's good. Like, you can pretty much rest assured that it will be good.
Yeah.
Like, if it's got an Ecuadorian Connecticut or an Ecuadorian Habano wrapper on it. Like, I think Ecuadorian Connecticut's are better than Ecuadorian Habanos as a general rule. Because it, like
that cloud cover.
Yeah, it gives a richness to the Connecticut wrapper that's not usually there.
Yeah, it's like shade grown. It would consider like because it's, I guess it's so cloudy over there where it's like it's still considered kind of sun grown
Yeah,
but it still has like a shade of shade grownness to it. There's like like a very subtle taste to it.
Yeah,
but it's very. The undercurrents are very strong. Let's say that.
I think it probably has something to do with the volcanic activity in the soil over there too. Yeah. It probably adds something to it. But yeah, like Ecuadorian Connecticut's I usually really like.
Make good coffee, make good wrappers.
Mm-hmm. They're no Guatemalan coffee, but Guatemalan coffee is
Guatemalan is good.
Guatemalan coffee is fucking really good.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably the best coffee.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, that's pretty good. But yeah, Ecuador. I would probably say even like Kenyan coffee more than Ecuadorian coffee.
The only one I've ever had, like a single origin Kenyan, is the Starbucks one, and I wasn't that big of a fan.
That one's not that great.
Yeah, that one's not that good. It has that kind of like silkiness to it, and I'm not a fan of. It's like low acidity to it, I guess. But I'm not a fan of like high acidity coffee either, so I don't know.
I think it depends on the flavor profile. It also depends on whether it's an espresso or...
I just have pour over, so...
Yeah, or if it's a pour over, it's just a different chemistry involved, right? So it's like... I can handle a higher acidity in an espresso, like especially if I'm using it in a latte. You know, because
because the milk's going to cut it.
Yeah, you have milk on top of it, so you can just kind of cut it down. You want that coffeeness, the dark berry earthiness to kind of come to the surface, which a low acidity coffee, like, it won't do. It'll just get drowned out by the milk, especially because I use whole milk, so it's like really rich.
You ever put like heavy whipping cream in it?
Like froth up heavy whipping cream?
Or just put it in your coffee?
No, I pretty much drink lattes at home. Like, so it's like I steam milk. And although watching that like all those mocha pot videos, like, I should get a mocha pot.
Yeah, I was thinking about it too. It's like, that'd be kind of dope.
It's like I have this whole espresso contraption. It's like, it seems like a waste. Like, to get some other thing to do the thing that I already have the thing that it does. It's like,
yeah, you're gonna be a true coffee nerd. Want a pour over? Want a mocha pot? Want an espresso machine? No, whatever, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think just at a certain point, it's just about utility. Like, I just drink so much fucking coffee that, like, I can't just go through the whole, like, ritual. It's like, oh, I'm a big coffee guy. It's like, not if you, like, need to use a fucking Chemex, like, every time you want it. Like, I'm all about, like, delivery. Fast delivery. Like, I'm a coffee guy because I drink a fucking ton of coffee. And so it's, like, the quickest way to get it into my body is the most effective. And I try to temper that with, like, okay, this is a quick delivery method, and it's 80% to what the other thing would be. and it's 100% faster, it's like I'll take that 20% hit in quality for the 100% faster. I don't really care about like the little extra bump so that it's, you know, and so
Well, that's why I like having the thermos mug, because I can make like, you know, what is it, 20 ounces of coffee. That'll last me half the day. I drink another 20 ounces later in the day. So, you know, 40 ounces in a whole day.
yeah, that's a decent amount.
Mm-hmm.
That's yeah. When I was working in Iowa, I used to go through fucking like 3 pots of coffee a day at work.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. What's a pot of coffee? 64 ounces, I think.
I think something like that.
So yeah, I used to go through. Well, me and another guy, we would share.
Just piss coffee.
We'd go through 3 pots of coffee a day, and like, in an 8-hour shift.
Yeah.
Like,
It's like my buddy, when he used to work at Starbucks, he had like the Trenta, but it was all just espresso in it, and just with ice.
what's a Trenta?
A 30 ouncer.
Oh,
Yeah.
damn. Yeah, I don't know.
It's like this, just fucking drinking coffee.
Like those guys with the fucking like big gulp
Yeah,
mugs.
yeah.
Fucking mug is like this. It's not even a mug. It's like a fucking 2-liter with
It's
a
a
handle.
bucket.
It's like,
Oh, drink there.
yeah, I see people like, and the thing is you know, if someone has something that big, that it doesn't have water in it, right? It's got like soda in it. They're drinking that much soda like 2 or 3 times over. There's like Bert Kreischer with a fucking Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid. 64 ounces of fucking Kool-Aid.
So much sugar, dude. It's a lot of Kool-Aid.
It's a lot of fucking Kool-Aid,
Put a
dude.
cup of sugar in a pitcher of Kool-Aid. That's what it calls for.
Oh my god.
You can make Kool-Aid with half as much sugar, half a cup of sugar, and it's still really sweet. You're like, fuck, it's sweet.
Yeah, I don't know.
But it's basically just like simple syrup with flavor in it.
Yeah.
It's like getting those Terreno fucking bottles of syrup and just
Ugh. Gross.
taking it right to the head. Good stuff though. But yeah, I don't know. It's the same way with like cocktails or whiskey or whatever. You know, it's like, ooh, it's a you know, it's a vintage sipping whiskey, like fucking sipping tequila. It's like this is just a delivery method. Like I don't need it to be that fancy, right? Like it's lost on me for a fucking super expensive $400 bottle of scotch. This is lost on me. Like I can't appreciate it.
What, mixed?
No, just like that fancy of a scotch.
Oh.
It's just like with the fancy way of like, or yeah, people making cocktails and it's like super like involved and it's like I just like it's too much extra work. I'm not trying to fucking take.
Give me the booze. I want the booze.
Well, it's like when you make food, right? Doesn't it irritate you when you have to spend like 3 times to 5 times as long making a meal as it takes you to eat the fucking meal?
Oh yeah.
It takes you 10 minutes to eat something and it takes you 40 minutes to prepare it. I'm like, I'm not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
That's like equal, like a 1-to-1. That's ideal. It takes me 15 minutes to prepare. It takes me 15 minutes to eat.
Uh-huh.
Or like maybe I'll give you a little bit of latitude at a 2-to-1, but like you're talking like a 5-to-1 ratio.
Nah.
We're talking about this at Thanksgiving about pizza rolls. And
it seems like pizza rolls seem like it's more work than anything else. Like that's it. I don't know.
To make them, just throw them in the oven for 8 minutes.
No, but this is like a little. I don't know. You have to eat a lot to get satisfied.
That was my point. Yeah. Is that I was talking about how
he has to make a fucking gang of them just to like okay, I feel kind of full now.
Yeah, I was talking about this at Thanksgiving. I was saying that. So I buy the 100-count bags of pizza rolls.
Yeah.
And I eat 20 at a time.
Uh-huh.
And the reason I eat 20 at a time is because that's how many fits in the pan. And it's probably good.
Can you deep fry those?
I don't know. I haven't tried.
Probably should.
But if I ruin it, I'll have wasted pizza rolls. And I don't have any.
Just put like 5 in there.
But I feel like it wouldn't be good.
I think it would.
I feel like I wouldn't like it. But no, like the pan size is what stops me.
Uh-huh.
Because there is no amount of pizza rolls that you can put in front of me that I've ever discovered that I will not put all of them down before they're not hot anymore.
You're bad days away from having cargo shorts with pizza rolls in them, are you?
I can put away some fucking pizza rolls. I've never tried to eat 100 in one sitting, but I bet you I could. I've eaten 70.
So it'd be like almost like a bowl of popcorn for you.
That's exactly what it's like. Yep, it's just like it's just fucking Like, just that's how I eat them. Just like, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, the people are like, oh, I'll make some pizza. Well, they make like 6 or 8 pizza rolls. I was like, what are you doing? That's not pizza rolls.
I do enjoy those bagel bites. Those are good. I haven't had bagel bites in years.
Bagels in the morning, bagels in the evening, bagels at supper time. When pizza's on a bagel, you can have pizza anytime.
Yeah.
I haven't had those in years.
Yeah. We still make them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just on the Totino's. Does Totino's make them?
If I feel like they do.
All right, I might check it out then because like, it's not Totino's. Like Totino's pizzas and the pizza rolls, like they got me. All right, Totino's, like you're all right.
Yeah, I was hesitant when you made them square.
Yeah.
Like, all right, we'll see if you change it up. Nope, still good.
I had to tell Diana's friend's boyfriend that they didn't always used to be square. And he didn't know this. I was like, yeah, those didn't used to be squares. Like, they didn't? I was like, no, they used to be round forever.
Yeah.
Till like a year ago or something, I guess. I don't know. It's probably been several years at this point. But,
Yeah.
But yeah, he was like, oh, I didn't know that. I'm like, yeah. I was like, I'll fuck those up too.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Because he was, to be fair, as much as I was kind of like not like all keen on his company or anything, we did. He was like, oh, those are. Why are they so good? And I was like, yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
It's just so good. He's like, yeah, pretty good.
It's like, why should I put this in my body? But it's so good, bro. Try it out.
Yeah.
Cut yourself a square, bro.
Yeah, it's just like the like the fucking spicy bites that like we were always talking about.
Uh-huh.
I sent you that meme, didn't I? That fucking
Tombstone meme.
You've seen the movie Tombstone, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so there was this meme. I stopped by. I was coming down here one day, and I stopped by 7-Eleven on my way because I was like right after I got my teeth pulled. And I was like, can't have anything. Fucking no, it was before. Actually, this made it worse. It was before I got my teeth pulled. I stopped by, and I was like, I go in, and I'm like, oh, there's a spicy bite left. And the guy's like, oh no, very old, very old.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, no, I'm gonna have that. And so like,
it's all wrinkly and brown.
So like, I found this meme, and it's like a Exxon Mobil manager quote, yeah, we're gonna have to throw out all these hot dogs. They're getting pretty old. Me coming out of the bathroom and it's got Doc Holliday and the Johnny Ringo scene is like, I'm your Huckleberry. I was like, that was me. Came in like, I'm gonna have to throw this out. And I was like, no, give it to me.
Give me right now.
No, you don't want. I'm like, you don't understand. Like, one of two things is gonna happen. You're gonna give me that, and I'm gonna give you money, or we're gonna both be on the news tonight. So you better just assess your options here.
It's super wrinkly. It's like getting brown on the edges. It's super oily from being on the wheel for so long. It's like, I'm gonna fuck that thing up,
the only one left, and I was like, just some chili and cheese on it. It was like, it was very old though. I don't care. It was like, I'm your Huckleberry. Fucking, I just saw it like right after I was basking in the wake of the spicy bite, and I was on Instagram, and I saw it. I was like, oh man, that's fucking perfect. I thought I sent it to you, but maybe not. It's like, yeah, we're gonna throw all these hot dogs out because they're getting bad. Me coming out of the bathroom, I'm your Huckleberry.
That's pretty good. We'll pop it up over here.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. It's like one of those foods. It's just like fucking horrible, but I just like it. It's deliciousness. Poison my body with garbage.
All right, got any recommendations for all the viewers and listeners?
Oh yeah, I did. What the fuck was it? Leave me alone.
Stop touching my shit or I'm gonna kill you.
You haven't had the Macallan 12 year.
Oh yeah.
We just shared a bottle of that last night.
Murk that one.
And well, let's just say, yeah, like I was saying earlier, it's like, well, driving home was like one I shouldn't have drove home. Like, it was like one of those old
How did I
movies.
get here?
It was just like,
who put shit in my underwear?
It was just like, boop, boop, I'm gonna get in my car, and it was like, scene missing. I woke up today, I'm like, why is this mirror on my car missing? It's like, did I hit something last night on my way home? So maybe I murdered someone on accident. That wouldn't be cool.
We have to edit this out.
Nah,
that's okay. They'd probably arrest me by now.
That's the thing, though. That was what bugged me the most. Is that if I hit, it's possible that maybe like the neighbor kids or something were fucking around my car and did something, because my car wasn't scratched, none of the paint was scratched, And if I hit something with my mirror, my side view mirror,
Mm-hmm.
hard enough to knock the glass off the mirror, it seems like it would have like fucked the actual contraption that holds the mirror to the door.
Yeah.
And left some sort of like scrape on the paint or something.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, I had no recollection of hitting anything.
Mm-hmm.
And like, it seems like I would have noticed that if I hit it hard enough to knock the mirror off. So there's a possibility that just something else happened. Or like, I had my old Mustang, it happened one time. That it was just like an old enough car, and it just got so fucking hot one day that the glue that held it on there just melted, and the fucking glass just fell off because it was like 108 degrees like for like 3 days in a row.
What the fuck? Where's this?
In Michigan.
What the fuck?
Yeah, we had like this really bad, like really. No, it was in Iowa actually.
Huh.
It was this really fucking hot summer where it was like for 3 days in a row it was like over 100 degrees. And it was just like, yep, it just, like, the car was just old enough that it just had glue tacking the mirror on, and it just melted the fucking glue, and it just fell off. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess that's not a thing I have on my car anymore.
Yeah.
But it's been cold, so I don't know why that would happen. It's not like it was hot. Maybe the same thing happens when it gets really cold. Just the mirrors just have some sort of, like, adhesive lifetime on them, and I just came up against it and just fell off.
Yeah, I imagine it does, yeah.
I don't know.
Well.
Anyway, I gotta get a side view mirror, so that's obnoxious.
So, yeah, that's your recommendation, the Macallan 12-year.
Every time I have it,
Double
I'm like,
cast.
I'm always like, man.
That's like Candyman.
Yeah. Well, it was like I was saying last night. It's like every time I buy it, I'm like, God damn, this shit's expensive.
Yeah.
And then I open it and drink it, I'm like, okay, all
Well,
right.
you know.
Kind of worth it.
Yeah. Now, I'm curious to see what the triple cast tastes like.
I think I've had it. I don't think it's as good. It's like the double cask is like the sweet spot between the regular Macallan, and
I might bite the bullet and buy the 18 and see how that.
it's gonna be like $120 or something, probably.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe if you can get it at Bevmo, it might be like 80.
I don't know if it's that much cheaper. I don't know that.
Well,
I think it might be like $100 for the 18-year.
maybe,
Maybe.
which is what you pay for the 12-year at like a liquor store.
Yeah.
It's fucking overpriced. But,
Yeah.
but it is tasty.
Mm-hmm.
So I recommend it for our listeners that have not had it.
Mm-hmm.
What about you? What do you recommend?
Having a friend that knows how to work on cars. That's cool.
Oh, hey, does he know how to put mirrors back on?
No, the water pump went out on my car, and it's overheating. And I went to one place quoted me for $700 for the water pump and timing belt. Another place, and then the guy that I teach karate, he's like, "I'll do it for free." I was like, "Oh, yeah, just buy the parts." Like, okay, looks like you're gonna have a blue label in your future, my friend.
That's a nice gift.
Yeah,
And saves you like $400.
yeah, I'm more than willing to do that.
Yeah.
I'd rather give you the money or a nice ball of like Scotch whiskey.
Is he a whiskey guy?
He likes Blue Label.
Who doesn't?
Yeah.
I feel like even if you're not a whiskey guy, the appropriate response to Blue Label is that you should like it. It's very good.
Or the people that don't drink it, they should drink it. Oh man, that's really smooth and flavorful.
Yeah, okay. I don't know what I was just talking with Anthony about this. Hanging out at West Coast is a unique experience for me because Anthony Miller does not drink. Kyle does not drink. Tony Kinter does not drink. Who else? There's someone else here that just doesn't drink.
Shane doesn't drink.
He doesn't?
I don't think he does anymore.
Okay, yeah, but anyway, so I was trying to explain this to Anthony. I was like, it's weird because like I never realized that I have this gap because in my brain, people fit into two categories. If you don't drink, it's because you're some sort of like AA freak, and that's like your whole identity, and you're like you belong to some weird cult of like not drinking. And that's one category. And the other category is just grown men, and you drink whiskey occasionally, and you drink beer every now and again, right? Like, those are the two categories. Weird thing, like, being here and, like, knowing several people that just, like, aren't fucking AA idiots, but, like, just don't drink.
I don't call them idiots.
I would call them idiots.
They found a system that worked.
Define worked.
They're not drinking right now, so they're not in jail or dead.
Okay, yeah. Well, neither am I. So
pretty good.
But no, I'm not taking issue with not the method of not drinking. But anyway, I digress. So that's the I was just like, yeah, I never really thought about it. Like, it just doesn't normal like adults that just don't drink, like, categorically, they just don't do that. Like, I've never met those people, and there are several of them that hang out here who are just like, it doesn't even occur to me that they don't drink, because they don't basically walk around telling everybody all the time how much they don't drink, because it's like an integral part of their identity, right? It's like a thing that they don't do. Like, I don't play golf, right? Like, that's not something that comes up where people are like, oh my god, you don't play golf? Like, no, I don't play golf. I just don't do that.
I don't believe in Bigfoot.
Yeah. Not usually defined by the things that we don't do. Usually defined by the things that we do. And so, it was just dawned on me, like, yeah, it's kind of weird. And he was like, yeah. He was like, I just don't do well with drinking. I'm like, yeah, it's understandable, I guess. And I was like, you know what's funny, though, is that the fact that, like, you're like, yeah, I just kind of, like, went overboard drinking in my 20s. And I'm like, right. But now you're damn near 40 years old. And the fact that you even have the mental and emotional wherewithal to establish that something's probably not good for you is probably an indicator that you could drink responsibly at this point. Like, more than anyone else, right? The fact that you even have an awareness about yourself that that's something you should have to abstain from is probably an indicator of a level of emotional maturity that means that you might be fine. But, like, you don't want to roll the dice and trust that you would be, then, whatever. And if you don't feel it, like, sacrificing anything in your life, then why would you bother, right? You're just like, whatever, just do this. It's working out for me, so I just do it. But yeah, it's weird. I was like, yeah, I don't know. It's like a weird thing in my upbringing where it's just like, you either drink or you're just some weird Jesus freak. Like, those are the only options.
Sort of commie.
Yeah, those are the only options in my brain, apparently, that... But, like, not, like, in a derisive way, like, just in a way that's, like, those are the things that you're a man, and so you drink, unless you fall into this category of weird people that don't drink.
Yeah, I guess the same thing with, like, cigars. Like, you don't smoke cigars? Are you a man?
I think it's more like being, like, a vegan. Like, wouldn't it be weird to you? Like, don't you just assume that people are...
I'm an omnivore. What's your deal, man?
Don't you assume that most people eat meat? And if they don't, like, eat meat or dairy products at all, that you'll just know, and it'll constantly be something that, like, swarms around them and that you're aware of it? Have you ever known somebody for a substantial amount of time and then, like, discovered that they didn't eat meat and then just been like, wow, that's weird. You
like red meat or
just
like...
meat, period. Like, let's just say no meat or dairy, right? Like, someone was a vegan.
Or someone was like a pescatarian. Because I've met people that are vegetarian and they never mention it at all. It's not like their thing. They're just like, I just don't like the taste of, like, meat or fish.
That's so weird. I just don't... How? That's like... How could... Does it mean saying I don't like vegetables?
I guess because those people are, like, long-time, like, pescatarians or vegetarians. Like, people I've known for... Or they've been that way, eating that way for, like, 20-plus years. It's just have a salad, that's about it.
No, I get that, like, once you're... Like, you... wouldn't want to eat meat after a certain threshold because it would just make you sick.
Yeah.
Like, you would feel crummy.
Yeah.
So why would you want to put yourself through that? But there had to be an impetus for it before. It's like, to me, saying you don't like any meat would be like saying you don't like any vegetables. Like, none? Vegetables are such a wide and varied category of things. Like,
yeah.
How could you just not like any of them? That's
actually, a lot more women don't eat, like, any meat that I've met. So, I don't know.
You've met more ladies that are vegetarians.
Yeah.
Than men.
And also, like, Vietnamese people, too. Like, they just don't eat. The only like, animal protein they get is, like, fish. That's it.
Right, but again, that's a byproduct of probably, like, a lack of access to it, and then just a familiar...
No, I've been in America for a very long time.
Right, but, like, you get acclimated to not eating meat for a long time, and then you just continue on that thing.
Sometimes.
Right. Ugh. Excuse me. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, this is weird. But like, and so you just got woke on it one day, like, oh, you don't eat meat? I never noticed that.
Yeah, you're like, well, okay, that's fine.
Sure, it's fine. It's
really
all fine.
None of my business.
Sure, it's not any of my business either.
I'm clutching your pearls. Not meat. Oh, Oh, we're some sort of communist?
No, I don't care.
Oh.
It would be peculiar for it to be something that wasn't like noticeable, because typically people that don't do that like make it evident that they don't do that.
Well, there's sometimes you like like people you hang out with, you probably never ate with them. Like they're at a cigar shop or like a pull hall, let's say, and you're not eating with them. You would never know what their eating style is, right?
Every single vegan I've ever met, I knew they were a vegan long before I ever had a meal with them. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's my point. Is that
I'm vegan.
Exactly.
I'm better
like,
than you.
It swarms around them in some sort of like identity way.
Mm-hmm.
It's like an essential part of their identity.
Yeah.
And so
they replace religion with veganism.
Oh, I know. A dude that was literally like that.
Uh-huh.
He was an atheist, but he was like a hardcore vegan. It was like really weird to me.
Like, what do you care?
What do I care?
No, well, like the guy, he's like, he's an atheist. Like, what do you care? They don't have any souls. They don't go to heaven. They're just animals. They're just fucking things.
Well, I mean, religious people don't believe that animals have souls either. So
dogs have souls. They go to heaven,
that's
too.
not true. Consult the Bible. That's not what your people believe.
We gotta save all them animals. That's why they had an ark.
All dogs go to heaven.
That's why they had an ark. It had 2 of each animal.
Yeah, what was the purpose of the ark if it wasn't like whatever?
What?
Well, I mean, like, okay, so the Bible's not so keen on science. In general, it seems to be pretty antithetical to science most of the time.
Uh-huh.
And so it's not like Noah had to save the animals because for the sake of like biodiversity or some scientific thing,
Yeah.
right? Like, well, the world needs biodiversity. And animals don't have souls, so it's not like you're saving their mortal souls like by saving them from the flood. So what was the real impetus for him saving all the animals? I've never really thought about that before. Just to have, so people have something to eat?
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
You gotta have something to eat. But then, like, why the giraffes and shit, you know? Well, I guess
Well, that's why the short-necked giraffes all drowned, because they weren't on the ark.
Yeah, it's, I never really thought about that. I don't remember, like, if God had some sort of decree on that front.
I think he did. I don't remember, right? But it sounds like he did. It's like, put 2 of each animal into the ark.
Do you think that maybe that was something that we realized, like, when you write it from the perspective of the Bible, when you look at it now, you think, wow, what a ludicrous concept. We know, science has proven how many fucking animals there are in the world, right? And 2 of every kind of animal ain't fitting on any boat of any fucking size, right? Unless that boat is the size of the planet, basically. And so we know that now.
Well, you can't put dolphins in there. Or whales. That'd be kind of dumb.
But that's not what God says. He says put 2 of every kind of animal.
And fishes, sharks.
But my point is so like animals like giraffes, which are like indigenous to like Africa and other types. When you're looking at it from the scope of like the people that wrote the Bible and their immediate surroundings, the biodiversity is not likely to be so great, right?
Well, number 2, you're thinking of like a worldwide perspective of how many animals are in the world, and then let's think about like the area that story was written in. They only probably had a couple hundred types of animals.
That's what I'm saying. Is that like, so when you wrote that and you said like God said put 2 types of every animal, but it's like
They wouldn't have giraffes.
It basically would be like living in central Indiana.
Yeah.
And 2 types of every animal there is feasible, but then like the more science like proved how many animals there are in the world, you're like, there's no way that fucking would work.
Yeah, that's why
But,
people
like,
rewritten is like, yeah, he had giraffes in there.
Giraffes.
And then he's just like, fuck those woolly mammoths.
Yeah. Yeah, like what about the dinosaurs?
Those unicorns, let them die.
He didn't save the dinosaurs apparently, but so yeah, it's much more plausible. Like you have plausible deniability. Like no, it's like 2 of every kind of like animal and 2 of every kind of plant. It's like, yeah, but you just like live in the desert, right? There's like 12 kinds of plants. It's not a big deal. It's not like you live in the rainforest where you might understand that that's not like a possible thing. And we also didn't have very intimate and deep understanding of like how many types of insects and arthropods and like all those things that there were. It was like 2 of every type of animal meant just like the mammals that I can see when I'm out and about, which is like, there's like 8 different kinds of them. So it's like,
got some cows, sheep.
So put a couple of those on there.
Yeah.
It'd be good.
Yeah.
And so it's like, it makes
so that would make sense for having an ark the size of like, the Titanic.
Mm-hmm.
You have those many animals.
Right. And it's like, just have clauses. It's just like one of those things that it's like the more you learn about like science, you just go like, yeah, not so much. Like it's no, sorry. But like back then, people were like, yeah, totally, he did that. He totally like put them all on that boat. It was enough room.
All the cats, dogs.
Cats and dogs living through. Like what? That's what I always wondered.
Just throw them out of the boat
How?
with a shovel.
Wasn't it just Moses on the boat?
Yeah, his family. How's he gonna procreate?
With his family?
Yeah, he brought other people too. I imagine. That'd be kind of fucked up. You're my sister. You're my sister.
So yeah, I just like how do you get rid of all the shit? Just a giant boat of shit. How do you not die from just being stewing in animal shit?
Just dump it out.
I don't know, man. It doesn't seem plausible. Noah just gets off the ark. He's all just fucking ripped from like shoveling shit all day, every day. Yeah.
Yeah. What else? My recommendations. I don't know. I actually found like this. I was bored at work. Like the last hour of work, I had nothing else to do. Saw this YouTube video of like those draw along how to draw like cartoons and shit. And the guy just came up pretty. He was like, "Hey, that's not that bad. I might do this some more."
What are you sketching?
Like it was faces, just the basics of like make a circle, put a line, have the halfway mark and the hash marks, and this is where the eyebrows go and the mouth goes.
Yeah, I took art in high school.
Yeah, and it makes sense for me because like that's what you do for like CAD drawings, so those aren't beyond my scope of understanding. It's just like human features, like learning the proportions to the faces.
Yeah.
So
well, for a body, it's head units. For a face, it's eye units.
Mm-hmm.
So you just measure everything by the length of the eye.
Yeah, but this the one I was doing was like more cartoony sketches and stuff like that. So I should have took a picture of it. It was like it came. Wow, I was surprised. So
yeah, as it turns out, like you just once you understand proportions and proportions, lighting, and depth, like. And like the 3 or 4 basic ways to create texture on something, you can draw a lot of shit.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I was hoping to finish that that Blender thing, but it was just too. I don't know. It just took too much time.
Blender thing.
It's a 3D program. How to render stuff in 3D.
Like render it, like you mean like for 3D printing or
like 3D graphics.
Oh okay.
Yeah, because like I saw some people like this. I mentioned on this podcast. This guy Beeple Crap, he's on Instagram. He does like a picture a day, every day for like the last decade. And I was looking at that stuff like that's so fucking dope. I wish I could do that. I was like, oh yeah, I can do that. They have lots of stuff on YouTube I can find out, but it's just it's a lot harder than I thought.
What 3D rendering?
Yeah, the program's really there's a little knobs and bobs you should be pushing, and it's like it's a lot of detail for me to remember.
Yeah, it's all just black magic to me. Like I can draw stuff with a pen or a pencil on paper, but
yeah,
and my uncle does all his stuff on like a Wacom tablet, and I feel like that would be like weird to me at this point.
Yeah,
but like he's like I can't even imagine what it would feel like to actually have like a pen on paper. This is how like this is the direction that technology. He got like this new drawing pad, and it's like he's like, yeah, man, it's like you have this pen, and it just feels like you're like you just like draw on it, and it just feels like you're drawing on like rubber or like an actual canvas or something. I'm like, but it's digital, right? And he's like, yeah, but it's like I can like write and I can draw. It's like so you have a thing that's like it like the digital thing. And then, like, the next step in the evolution to that is, like, making it not seem like it's digital again. Like, making it seem like it's an analog thing, but it's actually a digital rendering.
Oh, he probably has, like, a Wacom, like, Cintiq, right? The big screen.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what kind of Wacom tablet he uses, but...
Yeah, it's like the screen thing, the Cintiq.
I imagine it probably is.
Yeah.
I mean, he has, like, a pretty big Wacom tablet, but, like, he got this thing and it was, like, reading comic books on it and shit. And
those are cool.
Yeah,
because like you see artists do it, they're like, because it's like almost like they just immediately erase the line that they're doing, so they're like doing the same stroke like 20 times to get the perfect line, and that's why all the digital pictures look perfect. Like there's no mistakes.
Yeah,
it's weird.
But yeah, I don't know. I just found it kind of like weird, like like, oh, Kindle, I can read like digitally now. And like now, like the Kindles are like, it looks just like a book.
Yeah.
Like,
here's my gripe about Kindle, man. Especially the newer ones. Maybe I don't know what gen it is, but sometimes you long press the page turn a little bit too long, and it skips through like 10 pages. You don't know where you are now. It's like, what chapter am I in?
Oh yeah.
So
I hardly ever
annoying.
read our Kindle. I had like a second generation one up until last year that I got fucking back when they were basically the second gen was like new, and I had it for like a long time, and I like had a bunch of books on there and stuff, and then like finally it took a shit, and so there was like some Black Friday deal, and like Diana's friend worked at the Amazon bookstore, and so like we got like this I don't know Kindle for like $70 or something, like a paper white one, backlight or whatever. It's pretty nice. Like I hardly ever read on it. Like I always just like want like a book now.
I just find the Kindle a lot more convenient.
I feel like it's almost
I don't
like
have to carry 10 books.
See, I don't want to carry 10 books because if I have 10 books, then I'll be like, well, which one do I want to read? But if I just have one book in my bag and I know that's the book that I'm reading, then I'll get through that book. But like when I had a Kindle, it was like I was always reading like 10 different books at a time, and like half the time I just wouldn't finish a good chunk of them. Because I know there's like an infinite variety of books that I can have. Like I have my whole library at my disposal. And so I just like read a little bit of this one. And just like never finish books. And so I just kind of was like, I'm done with that. I'm just going to like read a book, like an actual book, like now. And I get through more books that way. So.
No, I just don't want shit in my room anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that. That's the reason I got the Kindle to begin with, because I got tired of getting rid of books. And like our book collection has grown. We had to buy another fucking bookcase. A bigger bookcase a while back to accommodate all the books we were accumulating. But whatever. Reading more is better than not reading more. So, yeah. It was like when I first got the Kindle, I remember. It was shortly after Jen and I got married. And we were in the Keys. And we were going to the beach. And she was like, oh, do you want to bring a book with you to the beach? And she's like, I probably only have room in my bag for one book. And I was like, oh, I'll just take my Kindle then. And she like paused and she looked over and she's like, that could have been an ad for a Kindle. Yeah. Like, I only have room in my bag for one book. I'll just bring my Kindle with me. It's got all my books.
It has thousands of books in it if you think about it.
It's like that episode of The Office where Daryl goes, my New Year's resolution is to read more, so I'm going to the bookstore. He's like, yeah, well, I'm trying to get some books. I was wondering maybe if you could help me. Well, if you read a lot, you might want to consider one of our e-readers. He's like, I work at a paper company. Like, those things are like the devil to me. Don't they hold like 10 books at once? She's like, actually, it's more like 10,000. He was like, whoa, what the fuck? Let me see that.
The new Kindles do have pretty cool options. If you actually have like listen to audiobooks, like the new ones, your Bluetooth headset and just play.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, I do like that. Well, the feature that I like the most is if like, okay, so two of my favorite writers, Hitchens and David Foster Wallace, both have incredibly big fucking vocabularies, and they exercise those incredibly big vocabularies. And so like and you can just hover over a word and it'll tell you what it means.
Yeah, I do like that.
That's super fucking, like when I'm reading an analog book by one of those guys, it's like, are you fucking, they're gonna have like, my phone up next to me and I'm looking up like every 10th word. It's like, Jesus, it gets a little laborious. So I do like that feature on the Kindle, and I wish there was some sort of analog equivalent to it. But
not possible.
Not yet. Not yet. So no, the next wave will be like, because digital things that feel analog, right? This is for millennials.
This kind of fucking screens. There's multiple screens that you flip over.
No, it's gonna be a hybrid, right? Millennials want to read actual books, which the numbers play this out. Millennials actually buy books more than people that are like our age. People like our age are more inclined to get a Kindle, where millennials like actually want physical books. Like their sales for physical books among millennials is like higher than it's ever been. And so
there's a bunch of fucking hipsters.
Kind of, yeah. They just like want analog things now, right? Vinyl and fucking, things you can touch.
Yeah.
Which
There's just like bands coming out like limited edition cassettes. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Get this shit away from me.
I think there is something to be said for like interacting with an object. I don't know what that thing that I'm saying about it is, but I think there's some thing there that like gives you something that it doesn't otherwise give you.
Sure. Yeah, I can see how that is. Like, I like mechanical watches.
There you go. That's a good example too.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's partially about the thing, but I think the next evolution will be that you have an analog book and you have some sort of fucking like glasses on that you read the book with, and it like gives you all little fucking cliff notes or whatever through the glasses, but you actually have the book. Like that's the next wave.
Oh no, okay. It'd be
that guy in that episode of Sherlock, but that's not real.
Yeah. Okay. It'd probably be like VR goggles, and you have like this book that has QR codes. So you flip the page, has a QR code, but it's telling the camera that it's another page. And then during the placement, you can just put your finger over it and it pops up the definition.
Yeah.
Solved it.
Or
that's
some
for free for you nerds.
Or some sort of like, like the X-ray thing on, when you watch stuff on Prime, you can like go in and, or, like things are becoming more like that with the Black Mirror thing, like the interactive, whatever.
Oh yeah, like Google Translate, it has like the lens feature on it. So like you see something in Spanish, you just put your phone to it and then it just like AR translates it for you.
Translates it from gobbledygook into like whatever your gobbledygook is.
Yeah. It's pretty dope.
Yeah. It's like that thing where you can just talk into it and it just translates. That language.
Not Star Trek. The other one.
Star Wars.
No.
Battlestar Galactica.
One of Star Trek.
Galaxy Quest.
Was like
yeah.
Translated. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a thing now.
Yeah.
Like apparently it works.
Babblefish or something like that.
Yeah, and the fucking commercial for it is super creepy. I don't know if you saw the commercial.
No.
So this amazing technology which has myriad uses that you could use to just communicate with people. And the ad for it is a guy walking around the streets of like Japan asking girls if he can kiss them. This is the best use they could think of to like illustrate. Yeah, it's kind of creepy.
Yeah.
And it's like he's just like in Germany and he's in Japan. He's like, hey, can I give you a kiss on the lips? And then it translates it, and they're like, oh yeah, like some of them, it's supposed to be cute. And it's like, no, it's a little fucking. First of all, if like that's the best use you could think of, like to hit on girls, like that's really not doing much. I don't know. Anyway, yeah. So that's coming. Analog, hybrid, fucking vinyl record.
Yeah, we'll put this out on cassette for you guys.
Yeah.
VHS too. Betamax if you
wait for my mixtape to drop. It's gonna be #Fire100 emoji.
Yeah, we'll send you the podcast like AOL like discs. Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. Yeah, every month we mail you.
AIM is gonna come back. We're all just gonna be talking on AIM, hanging out in chat rooms and shit.
I do miss AIM. That's nostalgic for me. Because everyone was at home. They were just on the computer.
Yeah, I was just logged in. Hey, what's up?
Hey. Was it the way messages like listen to music, doing cool stuff?
Yeah, I think it's part of it. It's like
it's like party lines, but for later Gen Xers.
Yeah, it's like just if someone were home, like you didn't have to pick up the phone. You could just hop on AIM and be like, hey, like it wasn't even that thing with the thing the other day, and you're like, oh, whatever the thing. And like,
hey, can you send me that MP3?
Yeah. You guys been on Napster lately?
Yeah. It's like, I was gonna take 20 minutes to download. No, it was gonna take an hour and a half to download a 2-minute song.
And the thing is like nothing really replaced it, right?
What?
I mean, people don't really do that anymore.
What?
Like chat online. I mean, like every social media has like a direct chat function, but do you use?
Yeah, the person that or the company that took the throne was Facebook Messenger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm not on Facebook anymore. Do people like chat on Messenger with people?
No, I think the Facebook thing is like post on their wall and all that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The same thing with Instagram. The same thing with LinkedIn. And the same thing with whatever. And so it's like But it's just like people don't really do that anymore. They don't really like whatever. I guess people just text message each other.
Yeah, yeah.
It's probably why. It's because we all text now, so we don't really have as much of a need to...
Yeah, I think that took over. And it seems like not amongst our circles, but like people use like WhatsApp a lot and all that shit.
Oh yeah.
So that might be the thing.
I used that for a minute. My cousin uses it.
It's convenient.
Yeah. It's but yeah, I just don't really. It just feels like text messaging somebody. I don't really see how it's any different other than it's secured and you like know when the person is like.
Yeah.
But
I don't like using Voxer. It's not that great of a platform.
No, neither do I.
Yeah, we should just switch to WhatsApp. It just seems better. But whatever.
Start that game. WhatsApp ever. Well, there's no like, I think it's part of like that Bill likes that old like Nextel feel of it.
Yeah.
Like that he likes that like, Nextel, like that's kind of what it feels like, is like being on your Nextel with somebody, and he seems like the kind of guy that would have been into that.
Oh yeah. I've been in the car where he's like messaging people on his, like we're driving in Las Vegas. It's like, where the fuck is this thing? Blah, 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 blah. I was like, oh, okay, whatever.
Yeah, it's because it's push button voice.
Yeah.
And I think that's what is the only appeal of Voxers for people that like the push button voice.
Yeah, it's hard for me to use that at work because you heard me message you when I'm at work. It's like, all the
I
machines are
do
going
like
off.
though that like I will say that like the talk function is like it's so much easier to pick up the phone and like say a few words than it is to like fucking text it out, like especially especially if I'm doing something else. It's easier to talk and do something than it is to like type, because that like requires me to like be engaged with the screen.
Sure.
And so I do like being able just to kind of like blather into the fucking phone.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm a little long-winded about it a lot of times. I'm like, yeah, I could have said this in like 3
It's
sentences.
like, why is this a 2-minute message?
Yeah, I don't know. So I just get talking. There's no one there to stop me. I can't read any social cues to like know that I'm just like blathering on.
I think I missed the boat where I noticed a lot of people use FaceTime or whatever video call conference thing.
Yeah.
Everyone uses it. I just don't want to use that. Why would anybody want to fucking use that?
I don't think my phone even has that feature.
You might.
I don't think it does. It doesn't look like there's an option.
Let's test it out.
I mean, I guess I get it if it's like, because I will say that like I hate talking on the phone with people, but I don't mind video chatting with people. Like a video chat with my uncle, like I would never sit on the phone with him for like 2 or 3 hours like talking, but I'll video chat with him. So I'm sitting there, I have to hold the phone to my face, and I can actually like look at him like he's in the same room as me. So I prefer that. And like once I got woke on that, like from him, income swipe to answer. Allow. Oh, hey.
Whoa, dude. Whoa.
Oh, I did not know that my phone did that. Oh my god, it's like...
It's feedbacking. Now you know.
No, now I know how to accept.
Uh-huh.
Oh, Google Duo.
Uh-huh.
Get set up for video calls, see?
Mm.
It's not set up. So like you called me, but I can't do it to other people, so... Unless I set it up and everything, and I just don't care. But yeah, I don't get that. Like if I'm gonna video chat with someone, I'll sit in front of my computer. But like, yeah, some people like if someone like lives far away and you want to like see their face or whatever, I can kind of get that. But for like your kids or your
I get
mom
kids
or whatever. But
yeah,
or if it was like an old lady and she lived far away, it's like seeing someone's face is like helpful to you emotionally if you're disconnected from them, but. Mostly it's just a matter of function for me. I'd rather just sit in front of a computer and talk at my computer than I would hold a phone to my face and like, especially because like you don't realize, man, how much when you're talking to somebody, you like read like visual cues in the conversation. Like you realize that when you talk on the phone, like there's more like interrupting and awkward silences and pauses and shit. You feel the need to fill them. When you're video chatting with someone, you're just like, whatever, you don't care. Like,
I don't video chat much, so.
I didn't really do it until like I started chatting with my uncle, and then I did it with my buddy Chris a couple times, and my cousin. And I was just like, yeah, this is just like so much better than talking to someone on the phone. Like, just talking to them on a computer rather than...
When I have message people, it's annoying because it's like either I get the ceiling or it's like totally dark. It's like, can you set? Like, there's a reason why there's video.
Yeah.
Have at least a little bit of lighting. You're killing me, man. Because I go overboard with the lighting. It's like, I have the lighting here. You see me when I do video stuff. Yeah. Like, the lighting's pretty good.
Yeah.
And I go overboard. I know I go overboard. But it's like, sometimes there's no effort.
Yeah.
It's like in a dark room. I'm looking at a ceiling fan. I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah, I remember my buddy Patrick was like notorious for that because we do
up the nose camera.
We'd like we'd be doing Discord or something to play D&D, and he'd be like on the couch like this, and he'd be wearing a black shirt, and he wouldn't have it like all there'd be just like the light from the screen.
Yeah,
and he has a big beard too, and so his beard is dark. So there'd just be and he'd be like
eyes.
He'd be like dozing off, and so there'd just be like this little sliver of like face that you would see. It looked like fucking Marlon Brando at the end of Apocalypse Now or some shit. You're just like, dude, can you fucking
coming in and out of the shadows?
Yeah, you're just like, dude, can you just make some sort of fucking effort here? Like, this is like, you can't, like, we wouldn't even be able to tell if he was asleep because he's a really quiet guy to begin with. So he'd just be like, okay, I'm gonna go over to the door and open it. And then just like, he wouldn't say anything for like a half an hour, and I'd be like, Patrick. He'd be like, what? And I'd be like, what are you fucking alive? Just comfortable.
Blink if you're alive.
Yeah. No, the thing is he's like one of those people that he's like so much like a fucking robot that he like even blinks mechanically slowly. No, it's slowly. It's like this. Like his blinks are so long that like for about a half
fall asleep?
Yeah, for a half a second you'll think you fell asleep. It'll be like you're like dude, I thought you were out there for a second.
My eyes require moisture.
Yep.
Wait for the cycle to happen. Eyes are moistened.
Yep.
We'll repeat in 30 seconds.
Moistening eyes, eyes moistened. Fucking robot. He's such a fucking weird guy, man. But yeah, he'd just be like, you in a black polo. Like, he's the guy that wears the same clothes every day. Yeah. He'd just be like, just smudged out like a little bit. Like,
Snuggies. Like,
yeah, he's just like super comfortable.
You a mummy? What is going on?
You're just like, fucking go to bed already. You clearly don't want to play D&D. You're fucking tired. No, I'm cool. I'll play more.
I have a lot of energy, actually.
It's like a super low energy guy.
I just drank some Bang right now, guys. I might get a little crazy.
It's like how he eats too.
Initiating munching now.
He's like one of those people that eats like a fucking cheeseburger with like a fork and a knife.
No. Oh, because he has a beard, right?
Yeah, and he's got like this, like his mustache like comes down over his lip onto the top of his like. At least it used to. I haven't seen it in years.
Oh my god, I don't understand how people could do that.
Giant beard and like a fucking over the top of his bottom lip, like when he closes his mouth. It's like, dude.
You know that basketball James Harden? He has the mask, like, he has no space in between. It's like, how the fuck does this guy eat?
He just goes right up to the edge of his mouth.
Like, how does this work?
Yeah.
I don't know the logistics of this.
It's like all the way up to here.
Yeah.
Like, fucking just like his...
I don't get it.
Hairy face.
Yeah.
And then someone just waxed his eyes and his lips.
It's like this Wolfman.
Yeah. But it doesn't like, there's no bleed, you know? It's just like crisp.
Yeah.
Like someone just drew like a marker, like colored it in.
Yeah.
It doesn't even look like, you can't even like see the physical hairs, like a mass of like hairs, you know? It's just svelte like sheet on his face.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess it's worth it for them. I don't know.
Just seems like more.
It just seems more work to take the food out of your beard rather than just trim it like every other day. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't get that. Yeah, like having like a big beard is more work than shaving every day.
Yeah, it seems like it.
It seems like it. Especially if people are like, oh yeah, I use this beard oil, you know, and I got like this beard conditioner, and it's like, dude, that's like a whole hair care routine for your face. Like, why would you care to go through all that trouble? Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Just
people like it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, it's like those dudes that have like too much like accessories. Like, why do you need like, I need like wooden beads and these like Buddha beads and all these other stuff around my hand. I'm like, you're gonna catch an eagle or something here, man.
Yeah.
Why do you have so many accessories?
I'm wearing 2 watches and 3 belts.
Yeah, it's like you don't need like, 6 rings on one hand.
Some
I
people
don't know why you need that.
Apparently some people do. I don't know. I mean, the whole concept of accessorizing is kind of lost on me anyway. So
yeah, I don't know. Whatever.
Anyway,
all right.
What else you got? That's it.
That's pretty much it.
All right.
If you're listening to this, check out our YouTube page. Please subscribe, like our videos. Still trying to, huh?
We gotta have her record a new outro with the YouTube stuff in it.
Yeah, we do. You gotta have Batman in the background too.
He is an asshole. But yeah, do that. The YouTube thing. And
tell your friends.
Tell your friend.
Yeah, torture them by making them listen to this.
Yeah.
And then tell us how bad we did. Because we like emails.
And how many friends we cost you.
Yeah, that'd be kind of funny.
I used to have friends, and then I recommended Mikey and the Press Pass podcast, and now I have none.
Uh-huh.
So I just sit at pizza rolls and cry into my beard.
Tears of joy because pizza rolls can be good.
They can be good.
Yeah,
if they're Totinos, they are good.
Yeah, tortina pizzas are good.
Yeah.
Rolls are fine.
Yeah, they're great.
Okay.
They're great. You're Totinos, give us a sponsorship.
Oh, that'd be so awesome.
I think you're fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, Tortinos, what's up?
Oh, you just said their pizza rolls were like okay, and now you're trying.
Their pizzas are the bomb. They're the best.
Yeah.
If I was a maniac, I'd probably like 2 of them. Just fucking eat it.
Do you think it would transfer to like a larger? Because Totino's makes full size pizzas, don't they? But like, do you think they could just make a big party pizza? And it would transfer size, like it would still be good.
I think so.
I don't know though.
Well, because the thing is like the ratio between like the quote unquote crust,
the edge.
Sauce. Actually, my thing is I wish they made like an S pattern, so it's like most of it's crust. Because the best part's not the middle part, right? It's the corners, like the edges. So make it like an S instead of like a square. How badass would that be?
I mean, I don't know. It seems like it'd be hard to eat.
No, you just cut it up in squares. It's just an S, but when you put it in the oven, it's like an S. And you just chop it into sections, eat it. Because like all of its edges. It's like those brownie pans. It's like all edges. Wouldn't that be awesome?
I guess, yeah.
Dude, tortillas, what's up, dude? I gave you an idea, bro.
Trying to get woke.
Get woke on that. S pattern tortillas pizza.
Yeah, and they could incorporate it, like the S and Totinos into it. Like, yeah. Totinos, like S-shaped pizzas.
Fuck yeah.
All right, that's it.
All right, this is for this week, guys. Don't forget. Don't be a fool. Wash your hands before you eat the gabagool. Mask over the nose. Fucking animals. Animals.
Thanks for listening to Mikey and the Press Pass podcast. Consider subscribing. You can rate and review us on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, and pretty much anywhere where you can listen to podcasts. And you can also write us with any ideas, suggestions, or horrible burning criticism at mikeyandthepresspass@gmail.com. Thank you.